Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I didn't leave a note. I didn't leave a message. I didn't even bother closing the door gently behind me. I just walked out. Not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I knew that if I stayed 1 second longer, I would fall apart. And I couldn't let her see that. Not after everything we'd been through. I used to believe love could hold up against anything. That what we had was unbreakable. But I was wrong. It didn't end in some dramatic blowout. It faded through the quiet decline of honesty. I saw the shift as it was happening. The subtle differences, the delayed replies, the quick excuses, the smiles that didn't quite reach her eyes. I brushed it off. Told myself she was tired, stressed, that we were just in a rough phase like every couple hits eventually. But deep down I knew better. And then one night, everything became unmistakably clear. I came home late, drained, worn out, just wanting to collapse beside the woman I loved. Instead, I found her asleep on the couch. Her phone was still unlocked, screen glowing, messages open. She hadn't meant to leave it that way. I almost wish she had locked it because what I read destroyed something in me. They weren't harmless messages. They weren't casual jokes or silly exchanges. They were intimate, personal. The kind of words she used to give only to me, now given to someone else. It wasn't physical. Not yet. But somehow it felt even worse. It was emotional. It was real. I didn't confront her. Didn't argue. Didn't wait for an explanation that would only create more pain. I grabbed my things, my bag, my keys, my cracked open heart, and walked out into the cold night. I didn't look back. I promised myself I never would. I started over. New number, new city, new job, new life. The first weeks were nothing but fog. Sleep barely came. Food had no taste. Silence wrapped itself around me like another layer of skin. But I forced myself to keep moving. Not because I stopped caring about her, but because there was a small part of me still left that I wanted to protect. I blocked her everywhere. Changed my address. Vanished from the world we used to share. I didn't want to know if she missed me. Didn't want to imagine her regretting anything. If she did, she could have reached out. She didn't. And that silence told me everything. So I told myself she moved on. That she found someone else. That my absence barely registered. It was easier to believe that, until the day she showed up at my door. It was a gray afternoon, rain just beginning to fall. I was sitting by the window with a book I wasn't really reading when 3 soft knocks broke the quiet. No one ever visited me. That was the point of disappearing. I opened the door and froze. There she was. Hair wet, rain dripping down her clothes, eyes shaking like they held storms of their own. Time hadn't erased her, it had only blurred the edges. She looked like a memory I hadn't decided whether to keep or let fade. My heart didn't race. Didn't hurt. It just stopped for a moment. She said my name like she wasn't sure she still had the right to. I didn't speak. Couldn't. You had so many places you could have gone, she whispered. You just never chose me. I stepped aside and let her in. Not because I forgave her. Not because I still wanted her. But because I needed to understand why. We sat across from each other. Same room but miles apart. It's nice here, she said, eyes drifting around like the space itself told the story of who I'd become without her. I nodded. I never got to explain, she continued softly. And maybe it doesn't matter anymore, but I've replayed that night 1,000 times. I stayed quiet. I didn't love him, she said. I didn't even want him. I felt alone. I felt like you were slipping away and I didn't know how to reach you. For the first time, I didn't see her as the woman who betrayed me. I saw someone who had been afraid. Someone who didn't know how to break through the silence that was already breaking us both. I always said closure didn't matter. But with her sitting there, I realized I had needed it more than I ever admitted. You being here proves I wasn't done needing answers, I finally said. She nodded, eyes filling. I'm not here to win you back, she whispered. I just needed you to know I never stopped loving you. I just forgot how to show it. She placed a worn photo on the table. A picture of us years ago, laughing, young, untouched by the future we never saw coming. I carried this with me, she said. Even after you left. Even when I didn't deserve to. Tears rose behind my eyes but I forced them down. I stood. She did too. I don't hate you, I said. But I can't return to what we were. She smiled. A small, fragile smile full of truth. I know. And she walked out. This time I watched her go. And this time I didn't stop her. So if you're listening to this, if your heart was shattered, and the person who broke it comes back with an apology, remember this. Closure doesn't always mean reunion. Sometimes it's the strength to choose no. Even when a part of you wants to whisper, maybe. If this story resonates with you, let someone know. Share it with anyone still holding on to a goodbye they never got. Because sometimes, the goodbye you never said is the closure you finally needed. Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers.